Okay, hey Tracy. Hey, I'm so glad that you're able to join me for our coaching session today. And how was your weekend?
Oh, just fine.
You know what? I remember you telling me that you're going to go ahead and do a driving test this past weekend. How'd that go?
Well, I wasn't able to proceed with that because of the heavy rain.
Oh no, yeah, I hear that's been raining. Well, that just gives you a little more time to practice, isn't that right?
Okay, yes, I'll still have time. Yeah,
Yeah, how's your level of confidence with your ability to pass the test?
9.9%.
Oh, that's great. Well, there you go. A little more practice will get you right to the 10. Practice gives you more confidence. I'm sure you've been doing lots of practice. Awesome, awesome. Hey, talk about practice and developing skills. Thought, we that's my kind of a smooth segue into our coaching. I know that you've been working hard on trying to improve your repeats. I think that's been our focus. Am I right on that?
Oh, unfortunately, yes.
Okay, unfortunately. Tell me about what you're feeling and how things are going with that.
Well, I think in the past I was able to meet the target, but in the past few months or few weeks, still not meeting the target. So I really don't know what's going on.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts on why that might be happening?
I'm not really sure if I am doing the things right, or maybe there are still lacking um, information, or I'm not really sure. But I'm pretty confident that I am doing the agreed plan that we had before, or the action plans that we had.
Right. You know what? It is great. Thanks for reminding me on that. As far as I recall, you're working on offering solutions to help improve or reduce your repeats. Did I get that right?
Yes, right.
Okay. And tell me, how has that been going?
Well, as I've mentioned, I'm pretty confident that I know the process. I know where to find the answers. I know how to provide the solutions. It's just that I really don't know what's going on, why these customers are calling back.
Okay, yeah, you know what? No problem at all. I can understand how it can be a little bit puzzling, but hopefully together we can help you find out what the problem is and find you some solutions that's going to help you overcome the issue there and reduce your repeats. How does that sound as a goal for our coaching session today?
Well, that's perfectly fine. I'd really like to move on.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see that too. And just as a reminder, what do you know your repeat to be? The most recent report that I sent out.
I think it's at 28 or 29.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? You're pretty close. I know that in the last report that I sent out is 26. And if you feel that it's crept up a little bit, we can go ahead and take a look. But it sounds like you're not so confident in how well it's been going. Don't worry, we'll get you covered there. Now, I thought what we do is we go ahead and listen to a call together. We could go ahead and listen to a random call, so you don't even think that I'm actually purposefully picking a call that you did particularly poor on or anything else. But it'll give you just a rough example or sample of how your calls have been going and how you've been demonstrating your offer solutions in an attempt to reduce your repeats. How does that sound to you?
Well, that'll be fair enough.
Okay, now I want to make sure I get some fair observations from you. So just go ahead and pay some close attention to your skill and the repeats and how it's being affected by the interaction that we're going to listen to. Take some notes and we can talk about it afterwards. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm going to pause here. We're not going to actually listen to a call. Don't worry, folks. We're going to pretend that we did. All right, Tracy. Hey, you know what? I'm really glad that we were able to listen to a call together. I'd love to get your first impressions on how you felt about, your ability to offer solutions and the impact that you've been able to make on, on reducing the chance that a customer has to call back in again.
I'm really feeling like I feel so ashamed that the call that we have listened to, I wasn't able to demonstrate the skill because I came to a conclusion that I do not handle such scenarios. So I'm really not sure.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that you're feeling ashamed. I don't want you to feel that way, but perhaps there's something that we can look into that will help you avoid those types of feelings about your calls in future. Can you tell me a little bit more about why you feel that way?
Well, I just realized that I really didn't understand the customer the first time, and I came to like an assumption that it should be handled by a different department when it is not. So I
Okay.
guess, yeah, that's where the issue is coming from. That's why I'm getting more repeats.
Right. Yeah. You know what? I can see how that can happen. In fact, actually, as I've been listening to some of your calls, I've been seeing some opportunities as well whereby you may not have been providing the most accurate information to our customers, and that may have led to some repeat calls. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'd like to address that one. Maybe I could just clarify, but sometimes I'm having challenges to do it because, like with the call that we have listened to, the customer became upset towards the middle of the conversation because I did not acknowledge the issue well, and I didn't make him realize that I do not understand the issue. So yeah,
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're thinking about that. I really appreciate that you're thinking about the customer and the experience that you provided. With that in mind, going forward, when you encounter these types of situations, what do you think you might be able to do that would help alleviate those sorts of issues in future?
probably I could ask them about the issue, ask more.
And can you tell me a little bit more about that? Elaborate. What do you mean by ask?
I could simply ask, going back with the call that we have listened to, I simply did not ask at all. So I just assumed that when the customer talked about the $2,000 installation fee, I thought it has something to do with the billing. And I did not ask about other issues. And later on, I realized that I could have simply asked because I could probably address the issue.
Okay, and what would asking do? What would that actually accomplish in this particular kind of situation?
Clarity on the issue, and also it would help me, or it would guide me to a better resolution, or probably it would also prevent the customer from calling us back because I can provide a resolution right away.
Okay, so if I've caught this right, correct me if I'm wrong. If you ask more questions, you're going to help get a better understanding of the situation at hand, which is then going to allow you to provide optimal solutions to a customer. So then they don't have to call back in. Did I get that right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so it sounds like it's a nice path to reducing the repeats, and it also helps support the operating solutions that you've been working on. I have a great idea. Do you mind if I share that with you?
Definitely.
Okay, so I've noticed these types of things on your calls as well, that you may not be asking a lot of probing questions. And I think by asking questions, more questions of our customer, it's going to help amplify your ability to offer solutions, and again, in turn, reduce your repeats. I'm going to propose that perhaps, because this is a common thing that we're hearing, that maybe we shift our focus. Instead of working offers on offering solutions, we work on your question asking. How does that sound?
Okay, sure. Do you think that's the missing part on my offer solutions?
I think so, because that's what I've been hearing in interactions. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think so as well. So yeah, I can work on that.
Sure. So let's shift our focus from offer solutions. Let's not forget about offer solutions, but let's shift our focus to asking probing questions, which is indeed a name of a skill. Um, what do you think that skill means, to ask questions?
It's more of investigating the customers in concern, isn't it?
Yeah, you're on the right track. And why else might that be important to investigate the customer's concern?
Well, it's important for us to understand where they're coming from. And as I've mentioned earlier, it would help me understand if we have the resolution ready, and it would guide me if I can provide a resolution, or if there's is really a need for me to transfer it to another department. It's easier to handle the issue or the customer's concern.
Okay, that sounds pretty good so far. So gathering the right information, making sure that we've got that so we can provide the right solution. And how would it make a customer feel if we ask questions of them?
Definitely, they would feel like they're being addressed, and that we are listening to them, and we are equipped to provide them the resolutions that they need.
Sounds like you were going to provide them with a little more confidence in our ability and the solution that we're going to give them later on. Does it sound about right?
That is right.
Sounds great to me. So sounds like it's a pretty good skill for us to work on. If it's that important and if it's going to affect our repeats, if we don't demonstrate this skill, because you shared us why it's so important, if we don't demonstrate this skill, how do you think that will continue to affect our repeats if we don't demonstrate probing questions?
Well, the same thing will happen. This customer that I had that we just listened to, they will just keep us calling back. And also, I would still receive escalations if I don't address them accordingly. So if I could just simply ask, then I could prevent escalations and I could probably lessen the repeats.
That sounds like a really good reason, yeah, because we don't want to be providing the incorrect information. We want to make sure our customers are confident and that we've understood. Good stuff. So great. We're going to ask probing questions. We're going to do it to reduce repeats. And what are some important elements of probing questions that we want to include? Like, what do probing questions do specifically to help reduce those repeats?
To help reduce the repeats, well, probing should help me understand the customer
Mhm.
and should also help me or help me get a bigger picture of the issue.
Okay, great. So a bigger picture, like there might be other things that are involved, and it helps us get a better understanding. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And how might questions help us in terms of looking at the right tools or looking at the right at one source? How might that help us out?
Well, I could provide the more accurate resolution, and instead of just assuming that this is the right solution, but there are other options that you know I might miss if I just assume.
Kind of like what we did on this call, we made an assumption, and then it'll allow us to look at the proper resources the first time. Does that sound about right?
Yes, right.
Sounds like you got like, some really good, strong understanding of the importance of asking questions, how it can help us reduce those repeats. Um, I want to make sure that you've got some words or questions that you can actually use on interactions that would be helpful. Can you come up with any sorts of questions that you might be able to ask during your interactions that would help you reduce repeats?
During my interaction, well,
Yeah.
for example, with the call that we have listened to, I could just simply ask, was there any or is there any changes that you've made in the contract, or has there been any changes in the billing?
Okay, that's great. That would be helpful. What else? What other kind of questions might be helpful in helping us better understand the customer situation and avoiding assumptions?
I could also ask, when did the issue start, or is it only one device being affected or any other devices? I could also ask, are there any message or error message that you could share?
Okay, great. Like getting a better understanding. And how about the impact to the person? Because we're talking about the issue itself, but are there any other questions that we might want to ask to get a deeper understanding of the situation that the customer has been impacted by?
Impact, well, I could probably ask, how has this been affecting you or your family members?
And why might that something like that be important?
So we could weigh the gravity of the issue and make them feel that we really are concerned with their issue.
Okay, that's great. I love that. Those are some great questions here. Now I'm just going to go ahead and copy those back to you so that you have those handy. You're going to be able to see those in just a moment. Why don't you go ahead and take a look at those and
Okay.
tell me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you in being, or how comfortable are you and confident are you in being able to ask those questions on your interactions?
Mm, if that will be an easy customer to handle, it will be like 6 or 7. But with difficult customers, I'm not really sure if I can do this with confidence. So probably let's just say 5 out of 10.
Okay. Well, you know what? I really like that, you've been honest with me and shared that, you may not be completely comfortable. You said you're at a about a 6 or 7 out of 10 for most customers, but then you felt like you're 5 out of 10 for customers who are what exactly again?
Difficult customers or irate
Or
customers?
okay, you know what? You come up with some really great questions here. I want to make sure that you feel confident in being able to actually use these on your interactions. How would you feel about me helping you with that confidence right in our session today by giving it a little bit of a practice in a safe space though?
Mm, we can try, yes.
Okay, sure. I'm going to try to be a little bit of a difficult customer to start in the middle of the call. All I want you to do is just ask the questions. That's all. How does that sound?
Okay, let me just recall the previous skills that we've worked on about handling customer. Okay, we can try.
That's right. Yes, because I recall you did a pretty good job of, engaging with the customer, and that's what you've been working on previously. You can incorporate those things as well. Okay, let's see here. Oh, yes. Yes, Tracy, you know what? I've been telling you about how my camera hasn't been working. It's been like 2 weeks now, and you people never get that addressed. I
Oh,
need, I need to know.
I'm really sorry to hear about that, Mr. Customer. I know that must be frustrating, especially that you needed those camera. But before we proceed with the resolution, can you allow me to better understand what's going on? Are there any are all your cameras experiencing the same issue, or is just only
It's
one
all my
camera?
cameras are experiencing the same issue.
That's really bad to hear. And do you see any error in your server or anything like that?
It says device cannot be detected.
Just to advise. And how's the internet connection going on?
The internet connection is pretty smooth, but it's just mainly my camera, and I'm just so frustrated by that.
I'm really sorry. So I can go ahead and check if there has been any changes made on the application or any software update that you've made.
Okay, great. I'm going to time out right there. Okay, Tracy, I was a kind of a difficult customer there. How did it feel in terms of asking the questions in the situation?
Well, I can ask probably if I can deliver it the way that we did earlier.
Okay. What made it easier for you to be able to ask?
Mm, it will be easier if I first
Okay,
acknowledge the issue, and probably explain to them the reason I am asking those questions.
okay, that would be fantastic. So you want to say something like, I can see how that would be frustrating for you. Do you mind me asking questions? I think those are some of the questions, some of the things that you said.
Yes.
Okay, that'd be great. I'm just typing this out here so you can have it available. And you'll be ready to do that. Okay, good stuff. I'm going to send that to you as well. And if you proceed your questions and ask the questions after that, how do you feel like your sense of comfort is now?
I must be realistic, so let's just make it 6.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, you know what? From a 5 to 6, I mean, this is only your first week. That's fair enough for you to do. We can continue working on it and build up your comfort level so you become more confident in different situations and scenarios. How many calls do you take in a day, would you say?
40 to 50.
Okay, gonna go with 40 or 50.
Well, that depends. Let's
Okay,
just say 40.
sure enough. Out of those 40 calls, how many do you think you'd be able to ask more questions? Kind of like these.
Well, I could definitely ask all my customers. So let's just say 35 to 40.
Wow, 35. Okay, well, we'll go with 35 for now. We'll see how it goes. But I love that optimism and confidence that you have, even though you say you're at a comfort of 6 out of 10. Do you mind if I follow up with you a little bit later on today to see how it's been going and how that's, and you can let me know how smooth it's been going or any sort of challenges that you've had?
That will help me, TL, because I need to be reminded in case that I will if I feel hesitant to ask those questions.
Okay, no problem at all. I want to be able to be open and you to be open with me to share how it's been going because I want to support you in this. Do you mind if I listen to about 3 calls, 4 calls during the course of the week to see how it's been going as well?
Sure.
Great stuff. And I will do that. And I'll let you know what I hear so that I can give you an update and give you a kudos and pat on the back for you demonstrating it well, but also maybe some tips and tricks that might be helpful in helping you elevate your success. How does that sound?
I will look forward to it. Yeah.
Great. Now, again, what was your repeats in the most recent report?
26. I thought it's 29.
Okay, yeah, it's 26. If it's 26, where do you think we might be in, say, about 2 weeks from now?
2 weeks.
Yeah,
Let's just say 1% per week. So 6 minus 2, 4, 24.
24. Hey, you know what? That's not too bad. You know, we're taking baby steps forward, but you know, it's progress, and I like that. That's good stuff. So 26 to 24 in 2 weeks. Does that sound
I
about right?
hope I hope I can do it. Yeah.
Okay. And if mastery of the skill means that you're demonstrating the skill like comfortably and confidently in every type of situation, even those angry customer ones, and you're doing it on every call, how many weeks do you think it will be until you reach a state of mastery for asking great probing questions like you've got here?
Well, if I keep practicing or keep applying the skills, let's just say for 4 to 5 weeks or
Okay.
anything between, yeah, 4 to 5 weeks.
Yeah, sure. Let's place that at 4 weeks from now. So that would place us right at the end of, I'm going to say July the 2nd. Sound good?
Okay, yes, got it.
Okay, you know what? That's fantastic. You know, with your continued effort there and you letting me know how things are going and my support of you, I'm really confident you're going to build up your expertise in asking questions, which is really going to make a difference on offering great solutions, reducing, making assumptions and helping customers feel like they're really being taken care of with a sense of confidence from your amazing service. How do you feel about that?
Yep. That'll be great.
Okay. And how do you feel about our coaching session today?
Um, I actually learned something new, and yeah, I'm really grateful that we were able to, to realize that I still need to work on with asking or probing questions, and then I can proceed with the proper solutions afterwards.
No problem at all. This is where we learn together just by collaborating and talking and understanding on what we can do together. So that's fantastic. I'm really glad that you've enjoyed our coaching section. I've entered this into our FLP so you can actually see the documentation and refer to it at the beginning of your day so you can be refreshed on knowing exactly what types of questions you can be asking. How does that sound?
Well, that'll be great.
Great. Okay, great stuff, Tracy. Thanks very much.
Thank
And
you so much.